everyone, and welcome to the Crown Report. My name is Brittany, and I can't wait to share with you guys what I was doing today because I was on the Royal Mall today for the Qatari state visit. I got there bright and early at about 9 or so, 9:30 in the morning. Now, I was supposed to get there earlier, didn't get a perfect spot, but I got a pretty good spot and some pretty good pictures. I think you guys will be rather impressed by. It was a great morning for sure. Got to chat with another guy who's kind of a pseudo royal photographer, which was awesome. And so it was just so fun. So let me go ahead here and pull out one of the pictures we've got of Catherine. There we go. So she seemed a little bit solemn to me. I saw that in some of the other pictures too. And so I thought it was just so exciting to see her obviously out and about and looking pretty well. Sorry, I keep looking up at my camera because I was trying to get my other camera connected and didn't quite work. So guys, I am so glad you guys are able to join me this evening as I kind of share some of what I saw. And it's going to be an interesting bit because we have so much news breaking today, and I am just still a little bit catching up on the jet lag, so you'll have to give me a little bit of grace here. And we also have, in addition to the Qatari state visit, we had the state visit between Belgium and Oman. We have some more in the Marius case. We also have Queen Camilla, who is suffering apparently from pneumonia because she had to scale back some of her appearances at the state visit. We also have a Queen Mary making a tiara out of a diamond necklace from the royal collection. I am loving that. And she will be hosting a state visit with Egypt on Friday and Saturday. And I imagine that is where we'll see this particular new tiara. And I have requested press credentials for that because that trip dropped, that event absolutely dropped last minute. It dropped early on Monday morning as I was flying in. I saw it and I applied for credentials. I'm like, well, let's just do this now. So I did it. Obviously, we have a state visit next week too between the Netherlands and Portugal, one between Spain and Italy. I still need to confirm some details on that. We also have the Swedish Nobels, the Nobel Peace Prize given out in Norway as well. And we have Princess Sofia of Sweden turning 40 and doing a spread for Scandinavian Vogue. And I am on the hunt for that. So if anybody knows where I might find that in London, please let me know. So much going on. And you guys will have to forgive me a bit. Again, the brain's still slow processing with the jet lag. I actually woke up at about 2 o'clock this morning instead of sleeping all through the morning. I went to bed at I think 8 o'clock. And after this, so the reason I scheduled this actually for 7:30, because one of the things I love about the Crown Report is not only going over sort of the royal news, you could say, of the day, but we also have some historic royal news, because one of the big, and I feel like most confounding debates within, I would argue, modern historical royal, I don't know if you would call it culture or interest, hobbyists, what have you, historians, somewhat, is the belief, and I just don't quite get it, that the belief that Richard III did not murder his nephews. There's some new evidence that suggests maybe he did, but now there's some weird evidence suggesting, but there are strong Richard III advocates who claim he did not murder his nephews. I don't know. So I found it kind of fascinating. So there actually is going to be a documentary on at 9 o'clock this evening. And I figured if we started this now, we should end probably about 9. And I can go watch that because I see these amazing documentaries and I'm sure I can find them at some point if I'm looking through. But honestly, it's just cool to watch it here. Hopefully, I planned this all around this and I might turn on the TV and nothing might be there. So anyways, guys, and I also got to meet Taz from According to Taz. She actually spotted me across the way. So, guys, I will have to show you. Oh, my dorky get up today. My dorky get up. So let's pull this up here, guys, because I am totally and completely a dork. And According to Taz, got these pictures, and I'm like, I look like a marshmallow, but here we go. So, guys, that is me. She spotted me, and yes, you guys can see I have a lanyard on with my phone because I have heard that when it comes to, like, especially walking around London, people snatching the phone right out of your hand has become a huge thing, so I bought a lanyard for my cell phone. I am a dork. And then I have this massive puffy white coat, which kept me incredibly warm, by the way. Really worth the investment. I actually ended up getting a great deal on it, to be quite honest, because I found it in a store on sale, but the company itself wasn't selling it on sale other places. Anyways, this is all part of the explaining the sort of, what it's like to be at these events. So I made sure to get a good coat because I knew it was going to be cold. Had good shoes on too. Actually, I ended up looking pretty I ended up being pretty warm. My hands got a little cold at some point, but so I am actually on a step stool, guys. One of the tricks you will learn in royal photography watching or what have you is that you actually get a step stool that gives you a little bit of height, and so you can kind of get above the crowd, which is really great. You can actually see right here this thing standing with just the little thing on top. That is my, what is it called? Oh goodness, I'm blanking. Tripod. And on top of it is a gimbal that I just purchased. And it ended up working pretty well. I'll show you guys some of the video. I would say focusing in on something, the quality isn't all that great. But what I really liked it is that it was pretty simple and easy, and you could have a really, really smooth transition if you moved the lens. Because the challenge is that I want to get pictures because pictures are expensive, and I like having my own pictures, but also I'm like, I want to have my own video. And so what do? It's a challenge, right? So, anyways, guys, there is my little getup, and let's see. And so it's kind of funny. And okay, and you guys have to know as well, I have a bunch of stuff in all my pockets. So, yeah, some of the fluff is me, but some of it's also all the stuff in my pockets because it actually has a big inside pocket. And so I was putting my other cell phone in there. I had um I had my AirPods. At one point, I had the gimbal in there too. I had my wallet, so I was just like stuffing it all in that front pocket. So it looks all little stuff. So, guys, this is what I do when I go out there. I try to have all the gear. And actually, believe it or not, tomorrow I'm going to try to be a bit of a try to take a bit of a break day and try to, it sounds bad, but sit more because my back has been killing me today. So I definitely don't want to walk around with a big backpack tomorrow. I definitely want to take sort of a slow day. My feet are bothering me as well because what you'll not notice is you're standing there. I had to walk through the subway, and oh, I have a crazy story. So so the first morning, number one, I went into the wrong station because I went into the train, like the actual legit train instead of the underground. So I went there first, in and out, fine. I was going to use my credit card, but I was like, no, I should buy an otter card, no, Oyster card, which is sort of like a little card. You can take it and swipe it, and you put money on it. It's awesome. Anyways, so I was at my station and I tried to buy it and I put 20 pounds on it because I was like, oh, this will last me of the week. And the stupid machine did not give it to me. And I had to stand there for like 20 plus minutes, guys. And I'm so stinking worried because it's I want to get there early. Here's the trick for royal watching. If you don't have credentials, you've got to get there early. You've got to, be able to be flexible, not drink so much. And so I just ran out and I was just standing there and it took guys 15, 20 minutes. And I'm like, where are you going? I was like, Green Park. And this may be stereotypical, but when in the United States are really fast and good at customer service, I would say the metro here in the UK, or the underground in the UK, not so much, because they told me, go to the next station, they'll give you an Oyster card. I went to the next station, I was not given an Oyster card. So they're like, well, call the customer service line instead. Well, I imagine I told somebody that, and they looked at me and they're going, yeah, you're never going to get through. So I'm like, probably. So that was a bit disappointing, but I actually stood next to it, and you actually can see him here, the young guy with the camera. He kind of does this as a bit of a hobby. I actually do have his Twitter, and I'll try to share it at some point, but he was really nice, shared with me kind of because he has done these quite a bit. And so he's able to share with me times and everything, because it is hard because you get out there and there's literally you don't really know what's going on. So I had no clue what was going on. So guys, I was able he was able to tell me, oh, somebody should be coming down this way, somebody should be coming down that way. And it was really helpful, guys, because otherwise I would have been a little lost, to be quite honest, just because there's just so much going on. so difficult, so challenging to keep up with everything. So it was just a lot of fun though to get all of that out. There's a picture here. I look actually really cute too. There's a picture of me and Taz. Isn't that cute? So I met her at a pub afterwards. So that ended up being really cute because I was like, she was across the way. And if you don't know, when they do these big events, they kind of shut off, sort of like passing between the two sides. And so they went off a different direction. I went off a different direction, of course, with my massive backpack, which was killing my back. And like, I was like, "Okay, I'll take the metro to the next stop and everything to kind of catch it," because I figured it'd be better than trying to walk across wherever it was. And, probably a good idea. Still, I'm thinking this new backpack is overall heavier or something. Because man, it was killing my back. But I think too, sorry, this might be meandering and not what you want, but when I was, you had to walk quite a bit just to get through the airport at Heathrow. And then you got to walk to get to the station because I take the Heathrow Express into the city. And so then, your backpack's just on your back for a long time. So I think between that, not sleeping well, and my stupid lanyard, like my neck and everything's like, ugh. So, and she was super sweet, guys. It was so fun to be able to actually catch up with her in person, which was super duper awesome. Because I was like, oh, I just wanted to actually see people I've talked with from time to time. So that was really, really fun. And so, yeah, it was a good day. So let's keep going through it. And I will just pull these up sort of. I've done this before in a way, and it's actually really helped. I think I've done it. How have I done it? Oh, yes, this is the way. I was trying to remember. What way have I done this? So you kind of can open, there we go, everything sort of at once. So I've shared and done editing on a couple of these. Probably need to do some more. But I wanted to share. So we have at least 3 marching bands for this whole thing, which is kind of funny. So here's one of the marching band gentlemen. I just thought the clarity of the picture came through really, really well because I just like getting a little bit of those pictures. I think they're really cool. And you have to, at least at this point, I think I was still doing manual focus. I had to abandon that and do automatic because one of the biggest challenges I've found is going through glass of a car. That takes some special talent to learn and be fast enough to manually focus. I'm not there. So I just didn't even try after a while. I tried for a bit, then I'm like, "Oh gosh, this is a useless cause, so we won't do this." So, and then I want to share with you guys too, because I thought this is kind of cool. You can actually see the snipers on the roof of Buckingham Palace. So a lot of security there. And there's actually a group of people who I would argue, have left probably Qatar. And it seemed like some of them were members of the LGBT community, and they were there protesting against the emir. They had like pictures, like posters that said the emir is a dictator and stuff like that. And so that was interesting. I was a little worried they'd get really disruptive, but they weren't. They really weren't. They had a little chant they did, but it wasn't too disruptive. So I would give them mad props for that because I don't know if I have a picture of them here because sometimes you get them, and I've done it a couple of times, like at the Commonwealth Day or something, and you get a crowd that's like they're just shouting in your ear, and it's just becomes very obnoxious. It sort of takes you out of the whole event. That happened at the Commonwealth Day, actually over a similar issue. Not sure which group it was, but I would say that this group I felt like was really respectful and not too obnoxious because, I'm all for people protesting, but sometimes it comes to the point where nobody else can have any fun because people are just screaming in your ear. So, and then we have this wonderful gentleman on horseback. I thought he came out pretty well. So it's amazing to see all the horses. This group also said, because I could hear them kind of organizing their protests. They're like, oh, make sure you be careful of the horses. We don't want to spook the horses. And it's so true. There are a lot of horses. And I mean, horses are dangerous animals, let's be honest. And so they are amazing and gorgeous creatures, but they also can be incredibly dangerous. So great to see that. Here's Charles actually leaving Buckingham Palace, and you can actually see him through here. You have the Royal Standard flying. Again, not a perfect picture, but there you go. And I think you can see his, I don't know if it's him or not, the rather gentlemanly with like the full beard and mustache bodyguard that he has. So that could have been with him going that. So this is them going down to the horse guards. And so here he is. You can see him. Of course, he's not waving in my direction. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but what can you do, right? So there he goes. Then we have another gentleman on horseback who's looking right at us. So wondering what this crazy lady in a big white coat was doing standing on a step stool. I'm sure that was his thought. Maybe not. And then we have this was the best I could get of Queen Camilla. She wasn't looking in my direction, but she actually took a car from Clarence House to Buckingham Palace. So she wasn't there for the outdoor activities because she did reveal sort of during the meeting between the Qataris and the UK that she's actually been struggling a bit with pneumonia. So it's not just a chest infection, it is pneumonia. And so she didn't want to be standing out in the cold, which is totally understandable. So here she is. So she left. Okay, I guess Charles went down first, maybe given the order of the pictures. And then she went over to Buckingham Palace to await them there. So when the party arrived, she was there to participate in the rest of the state visit. So next we have the policewoman on horseback. I thought she looked amazing. And I can't remember if she's the one who maybe led the coronation procession. I can't quite remember. But I thought that she looked really stellar on horseback. And the white horse is just amazing. Gorgeous, gorgeous horse here. And so I thought she looked absolutely lovely. I love how you can see her blue eyes and her little, walkie-talkie thing. And leading the first horse is a big deal. So let's go on to the next one, which is Charles and the Emir, Qatari Emir. So you can see Charles right here. I thought this came out really well. So he very happy expression here. You got the Sheikhsa over here, the Emir's wife, and then you can see the Emir is over there as well. Didn't get either of the two of them really looking out. I think there's one picture where you can kind of see the Emir's face, but it wasn't all that great, to be quite honest. So I just kind of was like, eh. And so here's the next one. We got full face view of Charles. You can see his hand right here as he waves. You can see also as well that the window of the carriage is open to let in a little bit of that cool air. I think it's probably to avoid it getting too foggy in there. Now, if it was raining, they probably would have closed it. But because it wasn't raining, thank goodness, they left it open. If for those wondering, because I did get a couple of comments about how cold it was pretty chilly, but honestly, my coat did the exact job it was supposed to do, which is keep me warm. And I didn't bust out my gloves or my hat or anything. I had a beanie I could wear. It actually I felt pretty warm. When I was talking to Tash, she told me, yeah, she's like that first a half hour or so, we felt pretty good, and then we start getting really chilly. So that is what sort of I was worried about and why I got this particular coat, is because I knew some of these events, you stand outside for a while and it gets really cold because you're just standing there not doing anything, and the chill creeps in. We did have a couple of bursts of sunlight, usually that accompanied with some warmth. So we do have that right there. Here's another picture of Charles, a very good picture here. So this came out really well. I think Charles's maybe came out the best because it is just a challenge. You also have the additional challenge, which you see more of, is glare on the windows from like the crowd and the sun hitting the crowd and everything. And so it kind of impacts the picture quality you can get inside the carriage. So I just thought, it's an interesting challenge. It's what I noticed in Prinsjesdag in the Netherlands as well, is that there was just a real challenge of getting sort of catching through the glass, because I'd been really good about trying to do manual focus all the time, but with the glass, it's an issue. So I've got to figure out how to get better at that. But the challenge is like there's only so many instances where your challenge is taking a picture of people through glasses or moving in a car or a carriage. It's a very small number of events that occurs that. So there's not a way you can get too much practice without maybe being here more, which I wouldn't be immune to. So we also have Charles here. They came back first. And so they're heading towards Buckingham Palace. And then we also have Catherine and William. I'm not sure which carriage this is, but it just is really beautiful to sort of see all the detailing here. You have the footmen in back. And then I think I kept this one partly because of the light shining on Catherine's necklace. You can see here as well, it looks like this is Queen Elizabeth. I was going to say Queen Victoria, but it looks like Queen Elizabeth there. So this was their coach, and obviously you can see through pretty easily. So here's the next one we got, and then William's obviously, I don't know who they're with. William's obviously completely hidden. But I feel like I kind of love how you can see the light reflecting on Catherine's necklace. Again, if I was a better photographer, I might be able to get a picture with the necklace in focus through glass. But you guys get what you get. I try, I really do. But I'm not definitely flawless at this endeavor. Then we have another picture, very similar, because again, they're sort of moving. I cropped these ones in closer. And then this isn't the exactly one, but again, kind of focused on liked how I got the necklace. And they move so fast. It's not that I'm particularly focusing on the necklace. I'm just like, okay, which picture came out better than others? How did things come together? And so we have another picture here as they're moving along. And then I thought this one was kind of cool because you can see the red of the uniform there of the horseman or whatever reflected on William. And then you can just see half of Catherine's face, which I think is a really cool and unique look there. And so there is a Catherine, and she seemed just really solemn to me. I'm not sure exactly maybe the thought that was going through her mind. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if she was being impacted by the protest or anything like that, but I just or the conversation in the car or carriage, as the case may be. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, watching. I mean, I guess you could say she's almost looking directly in my direction, but I'm sure there's a lot of other people there too. And so they are passing us right here. And then we get a little hand and a little bit more of a smile towards the end here of her passing by us. So if you just want to know sort of where I was geographically, I was really close to where the rotunda is. So the rotunda in front of Buckingham Palace. So they were about to go over that threshold. So we were sort of the last little bit of the crowd that they could see before turning to go towards the palace. Now there is another crowd they're in one of the, I don't know what you would call it, but obviously it's a big rotunda around Buckingham Palace, and one of those little areas that people could stand in. So they unfortunately, I don't believe, would get actually to be able to see Catherine. They could probably see William, and they could probably see Catherine a bit, but not great. Kind of like my issue because William would be the first one for them in focus. But these are the pictures I was able to get, or at least some of them. I did not bring up all of them, guys. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that here. So I just thought it was pretty amazing. Obviously, a lot more things going on than what you guys see me posting because there is so much more going on for this event. So hold on just 1 second. Just sharing some more of the pictures here from behind the scenes. We'll just hang out here at Getty Images for a second. See if we can get, because I put in Princess of Wales and a bunch of different things come up. So not always everything you want exactly, because she wasn't there at every event. She was there at the welcoming ceremony. So you can see her and William here. Some big smiles for some of the guards over there. The Emir and his wife later went to Westminster Abbey to get a tour there, which seems to be a part of whoever is touring. They always seem to go to Westminster. I think it's because obviously the history there, the connection, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. A lot of foreign royals have connection to like Sandringham and stuff. So there's Catherine. You can tell she's wearing a rewear if you're curious. Sorry, I'll move my cursor. Alexander McQueen coat. She actually wore this one on the anniversary of the date of Queen Elizabeth II's death and to an event. I think she might have even been wearing the same fascinator. The Gianvito Rossi boots are new. They might be custom made because she had another couple of pairs of custom made Gianvito Rossi. It seems to be an absolute favorite brand of hers. Obviously, the clutch is Chanel, and the gloves might be Cornelia James. That seems to be one of her favorite glove brands in case you are curious. So lots of different images here of Catherine throughout the day. We also have the Sheiksa and his wife. And so she is one of his wives. I'm not sure in the order. I think she is his first wife. So he has multiple. I'm not sure how many, 2 or 3. Can't quite remember. His father has 3. And what's interesting about this particular Emir is that he is the son, and I believe he is the second born son of the Emir's second wife. So Sheikh Samoza. Sheikh Samoza is very tall, glamorous woman. And so she clearly is his favorite. I think it's hard to ignore that Sheikh Samoza is clearly her husband's favorite wife because she gets to go to most of the foreign royal events that other people don't get to go to. So it was kind of interesting to see. Obviously, there might have been some people there at Westminster. Oh, that's a pretty picture. Let's see who got that picture. I'm just curious. So that is Henry Nichols got that picture, or Harvey Nichols. I didn't look too closely. So they're looking at some of the accoutrements of the coronation ceremony there. Are those the actual? No, those are in Tower of London. So I would guess those are replicas of the originals because I can't imagine they would put the originals in Westminster. So they obviously do as well for every state visit. They do sort of a little roundabout looking at items from the royal collection that have a particular connection to the country that they are hosting. So in the case of the UK and Qatar, it's things from the Qatari. There's even a picture of Sheikh Samoza with Queen Elizabeth II. So obviously showing the Emir his mother, and his father is still alive. In case you're curious, his father is, they call him the Emir Emeritus, or the Emeritus Emir. I can't remember which direction it goes. So, and we have a picture here of Catherine and William and the Sheikhsa. And so you can see here, even in the professional photographers, you get a bit of that reflection of other surfaces. Windows are hard. I just gotta say, as a photographer attempting to do this stuff, windows are hard. Or like any sort of glass. It's hard. It's challenging. So we have just some of these pictures here. Obviously, a variety of expressions. So it was just awesome to see Catherine out and about and being able to do engagements. Princess Anne, I'm not sure she actually played a role there in the horse guards or not, but she did actually make her way down the mall while we were waiting for the event. And it was sort of interesting because the guy I was standing next to, he was like really on top of it. He's like, "Oh, wow, Princess Anne, she wasn't on the schedule today. I wonder why she's here." So I cannot tell you that. But it looks like they had a great moment here, the Emir and King Charles. And so you got a lot, great picture of Princess Catherine. And so the other photographers, similar problems. They happened to get her when she was smiling. So it just depends on, and William obviously waving out. It just depends on where you land within like the procession, what maybe expression somebody has. You can't ever guarantee that. Like you would like everybody to look great and on top and everything, but I think it's just, it just depends on what position you get and everything, because it can be sort of difficult as well. So I was trying to get a lot of pictures, and I think we ended up doing pretty well overall. So I'm a little bit bummed that Catherine is not attending the state banquet, only because I enjoy seeing tiaras. But oh my gosh, guys, we have so many upcoming tiara events. It is absolutely insane. So I think this is probably pretty much all we have here. I'll be keeping an eye on it because we should start getting pictures from people either arriving for the state banquet or coming to the state banquet. So let me see. Let me put in just a little bit of what they're sort of labeling this in Getty Images and see if we get something to come up. So they are preparing, you can see here, for the state banquet. And they have all these place settings set up and everything like that. So we should be looking forward to that coming around really soon. So hopefully it'll be interesting to see if we see the Sheikhsa in a tiara. Don't think that's really tradition there, but she definitely could. They definitely have the money to. So if she wanted to, she definitely could bust out a particular tiara, but we don't know that for sure as of yet. And hopefully Camilla is expected to attend this evening, and hopefully she starts feeling better really, really soon. Obviously, pneumonia is very serious, even for somebody of her age. So it's very important that she is able to go ahead and have a really good and successful sort of recovery. And everybody looks forward to seeing her, of course, again, really, really soon. So guys, we will go ahead here as well. I will share with you the little video I got from my gimbal thing. My only thought is that I hope that the Zoom gets a little bit better. They might be coming out with a new version, but I just thought the gimbal has such a smooth sort of twist and turn and everything. That would be great to really hear. So I did sort of drown out the protesters. I took away the audio for them, and I kind of clipped this so it's a bit smaller. So here is the remember the picture of the police woman, that is her. And so you can see video quality here isn't great. And if you're curious, Taz is right over there. So if you're curious, Taz is right over there by that post. So I moved the camera a little bit so I can get a little bit of a better image. I kind of wish maybe I would have focused the other way. I was hoping I could do two things at once and swivel the camera and take pictures at the same time. Of course, it didn't happen. So we have Charles coming first with the Emir. So there you go. Can't see too much. Like if you zoom in, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Zoom in, the image quality isn't like fantastic, but we do get to see him here. So there they go. And so you can see too as well how fast it is. Like you have just a split second to get as many pictures as you can. Now, granted, you can kind of see him a little bit before and a little bit after, but this is very, very fast. So this is not something where everybody's standing and we'll be like waiting and stuff. No, no, no. It all moves very, very quickly. And I just want to emphasize that just because I think people think, oh, you see a picture and you think they're there forever. No, it's a split second. It's a very fast. That's why it's so hard for me because like I want picture, I want video, I don't know which one to do. And so sometimes I just go, you know what, I'm just gonna do pictures because I feel like I can get that. And that is something that I feel like for me is something I really like is getting a picture. Video is awesome as well, but I usually really enjoy getting pictures. I've always liked getting pictures. I mean, I like the videos too. I kind of wish I had almost done maybe instead of the gimbal my cell phone, but that might have been a bit riskier to just really worry about somebody stealing my cell phone because like everything's on my cell phone. So we have the writers here coming. So next we have Catherine and William. So can't see too much. You can capture her expression a little bit right there. So I thought that turned out pretty well. Can't zooming in can't get the clarity I would necessarily always want, but you don't always get what you want. You don't always get everything you want. So, guys, went by so fast, right? It just went incredibly quickly. So, that is just something definitely I want to share with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, it's just so fun to see them. And when I was walking out of the park, and I don't know if I have this, hold on just one second. So, sorry, my hotel room, complicated. So, got my phone, and I actually when I was walking out of the park, and I need to get this all edited too, because I think towards the end I was kind of not focusing as well as I should have. But I happened to catch them as they were doing the salute. So I've never actually seen them do the cannon salutes before, or the gun salutes that they do. And so something I want to talk about, because I'm a bit of a nerd about this stuff. I got interested in sort of the development of the atomic bomb. I was really interested in Oppenheimer and everything. And one of the things that you know about sort of, I don't know if you want to call them explosions, but the difference between the speed of sound and the speed of light. So you would actually see a bit of the muzzle flash before you would actually hear the bang. So there's actually a disconnect, and it's so loud, guys, that you can hear the windows around them vibrate with the power of the explosion. And so this went on for at least, I want to say even a good, I had 3 minutes and 30 seconds of it. I think it went on for at least a good 10 minutes or so. So hold on just one second. So here we go. So if you guys want to see, this is pretty cool. You might hear me go, wow, or you might see the camera move every time the explosion goes off. But these are the cannon fires, and I thought this was very interesting. It's about to happen.
Something else.
So you can see me wince or move as the sound and everything hits me. I don't like loud noises, so this was a challenge, guys. And it would get louder as it came towards me. So the one in the furthest away was quieter, if that makes sense. So you can see all the squirrels are like, what the heck is going on here? They're like, I want to get away from that. And you guys can't see, but actually the horses are way to the right back there. So of course the cops walked by right as I was taking a picture of that. But we'll go through one more round. I think I filmed about 3 rounds of this, but it's just kind of interesting. See all the gun smoke and everything. So this was yeah, like Gail says, squirrel used to think I would. Probably thinks it's used to it, but not so much. So it was pretty cool though to see. And there was some all the horses that actually kind of brought all these cannons around. They were off to the side there. Very great point, Gail, about Catherine and William were there with the Qatari prime minister. I believe in their carriage, Catherine, of course, wearing burgundy and white Qatari flag colors and pearls. Qatar is known for pearls. Okay, very interesting. I wasn't sure about that. So thank you for that clarification. And you are so right. She did obviously the thing exactly you were supposed to do as a royal and be a diplomat and represent not only your country, but the country you are hosting as well. So, yeah, it's this this is part of I think Hyde Park, and it's usually actually obviously much greener than. So it was kind of weird for me to see all the trees without their leaves, because I've been there several times when the trees all had their leaves. So it was just a bit different to see it this way for sure. So all these cannons going off were amazing. Oh, their majesties. Ooh, it's a new tiara. Ooh, let's look, guys. This is part of the fun. Let's part of the fun. Okay, that's part of about the time. I think this is about the time. Yep. I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I don't see the pictures of the new tiaras yet on Getty Images. They might be here on X. Okay. Oh, I guess I should have gone back down. I wasn't sure. No. Ooh, she is wearing the oh gosh, what is it called? Oh man, now I kind of wish I had gone back. Wasn't sure if I'd be able to see much, so I didn't. And honestly, guys, I'm really tired. So she is wearing, hold on here. Oh, and it's not the Vladimir, but it's the big Kokoshnik of the British royal family. So she is wearing the big Kokoshnik. And hold on a second, I've sort of lost my window. Where did it go? Where's my window? Where's my window? There we go. Okay. I was like, where is my window? It disappeared on me. I couldn't find it. Sorry, that sounded really dumb, but it was like true. I was like, where's my window? Okay. I guess I'm hoping, guys, fingers crossed, that I will get to see like go to an actual event where I can see an actual tiara in person without having to watch a car drive by, because car drive-bys, not that they're a bad thing, but they can be kind of complicated. So here we go. So there's Charles and Camilla, and you can see she's wearing the big Koshnik. This is the first time he's worn that particular tiara. It has a very, very high profile. And so hopefully we shall get some new pictures soon. I also wasn't sure. Sometimes I think she gets dressed within Buckingham Palace, sometimes not. Oh, Nathan, thank you. Queen Alexandra's Kokoshnik. Yes. So I think that's absolutely amazing. And yeah, uh, Anas Faro says Catherine has always been very good at diplomatic dressing, and I would say they all are. Many of the royals are very good at diplomatic dressing. They wear particular tiaras that reflect and connect to either extended family members or have a particular history within that country. So, for example, when it came to the French state visit to Sweden, the Swedes wore all their tiaras that had origins from the French court, because there's a strong connection actually between the history of Sweden and France by the Bernadottes. So that is really good. Oh, Sophie, well done on the video, Brittany. Tired of with jet lag, you're a superstar. Thank you. I have to like compliment that because say that because sometimes I'm like, oh, my brain's not functioning. I was on Dan Wooten last night too. If you guys missed it, I think I came off okay, but I was subsisting on about 30 minutes of sleep, and overall 5.5 hours of sleep over like 48 hours. So I was definitely feeling it yesterday, feeling it still a little bit today too. Don't know if we'll get through the documentary on later tonight, but I'm really excited about it. I find again the debate, the weird like concerns over, oh goodness, what's his name? Richard III, I find fascinating. I don't understand why people are like so dedicated to proving he didn't murder his nephews. And I'm like, ah. So we will be watching, guys, and seeing hopefully some new video. I'm excited Camilla's worn this tiara. I think Camilla's done a great job. I like people like are so terrible about Camilla, and I really think she's really lovely, to be quite honest. I really think she's very lovely. So I wonder too, what is the reason you could say, like geopolitically, and this of course is just, I mean, I have no idea, is that when it comes to this particular, like the slew of state visits in Europe, they are all from Middle Eastern countries. So in the case of Belgium, they're hosting Oman. In the UK, they're hosting Qatar, and then in Denmark, they're hosting Egypt. So I find that all very fascinating because I'm like, ooh, what does this all mean? Okay, and oh, what is his name? So guys, I wanted to show you because we do have another tiara appearance this evening, and that of course is Queen Matilda of the Belgians. So I feel like it's only fair that we share that as well. And she's wearing, I would say that one tiara that is not very impressive within her collection, which is the Wolfers. And this is a thing, I'm almost a bit surprised, you could say, by the decision to include such a large frame tiara for this particular visit in the UK, just because Qatar is not super close and it's a very high profile tiara. Depending on the particular country, they tend to go with either high tiaras or low tiaras. So in the case of Belgium here, obviously Oman is, they're excited to have them and everything, but at the same time, it's not one of their, you could say, biggest strategic partners. And when it comes to royalty and everything, there is an element of, if this is a very, very strategic partner, we tend to bring out our bigger jewels. That's what I find sort of rather interesting about state visits and everything, is that sort of connection between different jewelry pieces and everything. And we have Lizzie B get to 5 Royal News Network memberships. So I thank you so much, Lizzie. I hope some people are able to enjoy them, guys. I will be working on, I did a little bit of a vlogging, and so I'll need to get a little bit of that together. I didn't do, you could say, too much, but I did do a decent amount. And then I should have had Taz do something with me. Gosh, guys, my brain is being slow. But one of the things I'm planning on doing too is I will be sharing on YouTube my my photos of Catherine and William and the other royals at the state event with my watermark on it. But for members, you guys get a image with less of a watermark. So I know my mom complains about my watermark and everything, but I really want to make sure people don't steal my pictures because I worked so hard to get them there. And that might sound a little bit silly, but it is a lot of time, money, and effort. I even had some people on X saying that somehow my pictures were AI. And I'm like, no. It's just, I was like, what are you guys talking about? So anyways, yeah, it's very interesting to see all this. Oh, Wendy, why, thank you for sharing all this with us. Of course. I hope you guys are really, really enjoying it. These are the lives. I love these lives. And I love talking about not only British royals, but other royals and everything. It's just so fun. So hopefully we get some great Tiara pictures soon. Kind of kicking myself. I should have gone back down there, but I'm tired. So yeah, Adopt GDX says, doesn't sound silly at all, Brittany. You protect your hard work. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do, just because it takes time, money, and effort to get down get down there, stay down there. I was thinking, just as an interesting note, in case you are curious, the gentleman who was standing next to me was explaining that when it comes to the state visits, like I was thinking morning, because they're having lunch, right? And so for the lunch, they're going to start at like around lunchtime. So I was like, well, we should all be done by like 11:45. No, 11:45, you still have another hour until they get down the mall. So it starts, they probably greet them at the hotel probably about 11:30, or maybe even closer to 12. They go down and do the official welcoming ceremony, which is actually fairly short. It's not a super long thing. And so then they go back to the palace, and they go back about 12:45. So about 15 to 1 is when they head back to the palace. Then they do the walkthrough, looking at the different connections between Qatar and the UK. And then they have a private lunch. Catherine was there at the private lunch today, in case you were wondering. So all that very, very interesting. I just find all this stuff so fascinating, so fun. So guys, really hoping, if you're a person who prays, pray. I'm like really hoping at least one of the royal families is like either Denmark or the Netherlands. I also need to try to reach out to the Spanish team, and like, one of them, please, please let me photograph a tiara event in person, because I'm still planning on, if like something with Denmark doesn't work out, if I can't get very much in Denmark in terms of credentials, I will stay here and just do the Christmas Carol event, which will be rather chilly. And it would be chilly, obviously, in Copenhagen too, just because Copenhagen would add a level of complication I'm not like super excited about. Like, I could do it. It wouldn't be that bad, but it would be a level of complication. And so that is what I'm hoping to maybe, like, I'm like really hoping Denmark maybe works out, because it's so last minute and I applied so early. So hopefully we'll see. I think people are more and more accepting that the media landscape is changing, which I think is awesome, because I think it's just so cool how I think with the advent, like all this tech that I have, guys, I have like a million things of tech, and it's not all perfect. Oh, here's my gimbal thing. If you guys are curious, here's my gimbal thing. It's actually charging, because I think I'm going to get fashion content tomorrow. So this is my gimbal. So you turn it on by doing this, and there you go. And so it works pretty well. It moves pretty well too. So anyways, so, oh, Chris, thank you so much for the tip. Have a hot chocolate and a good sleep. Why, thank you. I'm really hoping tonight too, I'm going to be taking some Advil, because my feet hurt, my back hurts, my neck hurts. So like everything feels like it kind of hurts. And my feet have like a particular reason to hurt, because I broke my foot many years ago. Actually, what's actually kind of funny, guys, it was actually, let's see, it was 2007. So it's actually almost 20 years. So I can't do math well. Anyways, so in 2007, I broke my foot, I had to have surgery and everything. So when I woke up this morning and I was like putting pressure on my foot, and I was like all curling and gnarly, and I was like, oh, this is not going to be a good day. Just because like my foot swells, it has complications. I've actually developed a bump too on my foot that I got to get figured out. Nobody cares about that, but I just find it very interesting. So yes, it's just one of those things. Billy says, have a hot shower and relax the muscles. Why, thank you. Yes. And Chris, I'm bummed I'm not going to go to Sweden this time. Hopefully, though, I'm really hoping to find the Swedish Vogue. So let's talk about Sweden, guys. So we talked about the state visit. I'll keep an eye on the Getty images. So if we get better quality images of Camilla in the Kokoshnik tiara, we will definitely go back to that. But I just thought right now, let's go ahead and move over to a super exciting story out of Sweden. And because it is almost Princess Sofia's 40th birthday, and she has decided to share something pretty interesting. So she has done a whole spread in Vogue Scandinavia. So I think this is it right here. Did I sign in? And where does it go? Hold on. Let me make sure. Where did it go? No. Okay. Hold on, guys. It's going to take me a second. I got to figure this out. Because I signed up for a subscription and everything, read the article, was going to share it with you guys. And then it's not, I don't know where the there is or what the issue is. Oh, there's actually a video. That would be fun. I think she's actually speaking English, guys, in the video. So let's check this out. Hold on just 1 second. But yeah, what's kind of fun is that they've officially announced that they're expecting their fourth child, her and her husband, Prince Carl Philip, and apparently number 4 was an accident because or unplanned, you could say, accident in a very good way. So they planned on having just the 3 boys. They both came from families of 5, so 3 children in both their families. But apparently, the Lord had other plans. And so they are expecting baby number 4. So maybe they're hoping for a girl this time, but I have a couple of member comments here. And they showed up. Sometimes they show up in bright green. I'm not sure why. So it says, Angela Dawn says, appreciate all the hard work you do. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for your support, Angela, and everyone as well. And we also got Lizzie B. Your work is 100% authentic and your reporting is honest and transparent. You always give us your best. Thank you, Ms. Brittany. Well, I always try to give you my best transparency, but it may not always be my best me. Just because some days the brain is just a little fried. So there we go. Let's listen to a little bit of this, hopefully. Okay. All right. Well, we got a Marks and Spence commercial, guys. So hold on. There we go. So we got, I feel like there's very much a fairy tale-esque-ness to this, and that was kind of the plan. When I went through the articles, I was surprised how many outfit changes there were. So the outfit changes felt a bit excessive, but this is very fun. So I'm going to take a little drink as well of my caffeine.
Well, so I'm going to be quite highly pregnant. So I think a bigger birthday party will wait a little bit. So probably just, with my closest friends and family.
So there is her husband and their 3 children. So they have Prince Alexander, Prince Gabriel, and Prince Julian. Actually, I think this is Alexander, Gabriel, and Julian. So Julian is the youngest, I know for sure. But now I'm confused about which order. But anyways, it's fun. That is English. Apparently, the entire Vogue Scandinavia is in English.
I would not change where I am at all. I'm in a very happy place in life. Oh, I'm pregnant. I'm doing this Vogue shoot, so maybe I have a 40s crisis. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think having another baby, in a healthy marriage is a terrible 40th birthday crisis. I think that's pretty good. So I will say the little bit of her rowing, because I read through the article, she is actually from sort of a small, oh my gosh, I hope you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? I just realized, wait, what if they can't see this? Okay, good. That she was raised sort of in a more rural village in Sweden. So she is like a bit kind of outside some of that bubble. And so of Stockholm and everything. So she shared a bit about that, and she had to learn to do a lot of different things, including how to row a boat. So she was showing off her boat rowing skills.
I have 2 foundations, the Prince Couple Foundation and Project Playground that I work with. The foundation has been existing since almost 10 years back now.
So they filmed a lot of this in her home village. In case you were curious, her and her husband have a home there as well.
Working on a safe environment online and to make people learn more about dyslexia.
So I think it's kind of interesting, the whole, it has this interesting mix here, which I find really fascinating. It's a very regal, I feel like, photo shoot, and it's a very sort of fun and I don't want to say mystical because that's not the right word, but it has this level of, you could say, fantasy element to it, a bit different than Crown Princess Victoria. She did some very grand ball gown appearances and photographs for her 40th birthday. I can't remember if her 40th birthday was still in COVID. I think it was sort of right before COVID. So she shared a bit of that.
We live in a world right now that feels quite harsh, but within our work, we see the positive sides. So we meet up with a lot of the civil society organizations with.
So I wanted to point out here real quick, and also gives me a time to pause for copyright, but she's actually wearing one of the traditional garbs from the area where she grew up. So she moved there when she was 6 years old.
With society organizations, with businesses, with industries, and so many different people that are working really hard to make this a better place. And I think the positivity is something that I am bringing with me, that in a world that.
So it's a very, very sweet.
Can feel quite dark. I know a lot of amazing things is happening. I can completely understand that sometimes it doesn't feel like the world is going forward, but it does.
So, guys, that is Princess Sofia sharing a bit here about her 40th birthday. Let me see again if I can go into Vogue Scandinavia and see if I can get the article to come through. I'm not sure why it like disappeared on me. But I'm hoping to find, maybe especially because I'm out here in Europe, this is like a great time to find it. Vogue Scandinavia, right? I mean, I also am now paying for a membership. I pay for a membership to a lot of different like outlets and stuff just because of all the things I do. So we got to share here real quick. But I did have something that come through from Shaz. Thank you, Brittany, for keeping it real for us. You are welcome. You are welcome. I feel like it's not sometimes as clear as it should be, I guess, is a way to put it. I really feel like I should have taken my contacts out and put my glasses in instead. I got new glasses, guys. I will have to show them off to you because, well, I don't really like my glasses, but I really desperately needed to get some glasses because, and I'm glad I did because I actually didn't bring any spare contacts with me, which is kind of not what you're supposed to do. So we have here sort of the main big image here of this. And we got down and you can see some of the pictures similar to the ones we saw in the video. And just there sort of in this sort of picturesque town, like a fairy tale princess, very much the vibe here. There's her and Carl Phillip. The magazine says when they met and interacted with Cuffable, they seemed very much in love. And so they got a little bit of that flowing there. It looks like that to me is on the grounds of maybe Dronninghome Palace. It doesn't say here, but that's what it looks like to me. And Chris took me there, and so I was able to be there for the King's Golden Jubilee, but it looks very much like that to me. So we've seen this picture before as well. And so her in the more traditional garb from her area, then her and her husband, and the dress she does the rowing in there. And so she says that when she met him, she thought he looked very humble. He had big brown eyes, very, very kind eyes. And she knew exactly who he was too. She makes that clear, kind of not a la Meghan Markle, who's like, I didn't know who Harry was, basically, is what she tried to play it as. I was like, I feel like it's so much more real to say, yeah, I knew exactly who he was, but it was kind of interesting. Let's see if we can get it here. Because maybe I didn't finish it and I was distracted. That would make sense that I didn't exactly finish it because I got distracted by various things and my brain's not totally firing on all cylinders today. So yeah, so they met. She was with a friend. They were with a group during a tennis week in 2009. So she says, we said hello And of course, I knew who he was. There was a group of about 5 guys, and Carl Philip was there. Sorry for moving the text there. And so he looked very humble, had the big brown eyes. And I believe it was her that says, felt like something sparked. But I also thought this is what every girl feels like when they meet him. I actually feel like that's very relatable. So she's like, I felt a spark, but she's like, but probably every girl feels like that. He's a prince. Like every girl sort of wants that feeling when she meets a guy like him. And I feel like that's a very, very relatable perspective. And I appreciate that. She's not saying, oh, I wasn't impressed at all or anything. And like, I think there's some truth to that too, that some women can be like, maybe if they didn't know who they were, not initially very impressed. But I feel like it's very relatable to say, I saw him and I felt like there was a spark, but I'm also like, well, he's probably just a prince. Let's, put that out of my mind. I'm just wanting to do that because of, I just feeling it. So, but the spark was mutual. And Carl Phillips says, she came into my life with incredible joy and wonderful radiance. A radiance is contagious and a personality that you spontaneously want to be around. He was struck by her beauty, but also her wisdom and warmth. It was one of the fabled when you know situations. She's incredibly easy to be with, and I immediately felt a sense of belonging, like coming home. Our relationship felt natural very quickly. Now, I will say as well, in case you didn't know, Sofia was kind of known for taking some risque pictures back in the past. So I did want to make sure to state that as well. I think it's I don't know if they mentioned that or not. It would be interesting. So she had a bit of you could even say a Meghan Markle connection in some ways, just being a bit, she was like on a reality TV show and everything. So she definitely wasn't, you could say, the smoothest introduction in some ways, because she definitely wasn't a, picture clean, Catherine-esque, but she adopted the role. She changed, and that's like sort of what you have to do. You can't just live like as you were. And maybe she was just like, well, I'm looking for a change. I'm looking for a future. And so there she is in a picture rowing the boat. I do think this picture is rather pretty. And so there they are as a family, like one of the boys just curling up in the dress. She's obviously here in one of the palaces. Not sure which one that is. So this is Stockholm's royal palace where she is at right here. So you have very ornate. So they're really sort of playing with in this photo series, sort of the dynamics here between the ostentatiousness of the life as a princess, and then sort of the very rural, kind of fanciful, down to earth way she was raised. So that's definitely what they're putting through in the pictures. So you can kind of see it here too, nobody really wears a gown in the forest type of thing. So we have this here as well. I feel like I recognize those shoes. Shoes are Dior. That's what I thought. So anyways, I did think this was pretty. She's wearing her wedding tiara, which she has replaced with various little toppers. And I know some people complain, but I hope she wears different tiara for this Nobels, because I'm kind of sick of the wedding tiara, seeing it all the time. So, but there will be actually in Sweden, I forgot to mention this on the Crown Report, there will be fewer state visits, maybe not even any next year in Sweden because of the cost, because they hosted 3 or 4 this year because of the transition of power in Denmark and everything. They hosted a state visit with France. They hosted one with Finland. I know those 3, maybe another one that I'm missing. Obviously, they have Nobels as well. They extended their budget, went over their budget by $600,000. And so they're having to pull back on the various state visits next year to kind of make up for that budget deficit. So they actually have to ask like the government for the money to sort of evens that out. So just an interesting note there as well. So lots of pictures here. This is sort of a gorgeous spread, which I kind of is why I would like to have like a physical copy of it, because it looks really pretty. I think that's oh no, we got more. So that is apparently a Dior gown. I think it's interesting that it's a Dior gown, but it's not like a Meghan Markle terrible maternity dress Dior gown. It would actually work with the pregnancy. It's not like the greatest color in the world, but at least it's better than the horrible Dior monstrosity that Meghan Markle owns. Just saying. Shelly Belly 35 says, a quick hi as I'm watching. Miss your voice, Brittany. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. So let's go ahead and I'm trying to think. Oh, let me look and see if we have an updated view. Oh, there we go. So it looks like a re-wear dress for Camilla, and she's wearing the Queen Alexandra's Kokoshnik. So let's go ahead and move over and show that over here real quick. There we go. He's wearing his more traditional garb as well. And it looks like she is wearing, is she wearing also the Alexandra's fringe necklace? Am I mistaken, guys, or is that Queen Alexandra's fringe necklace as well? Or no, Queen Adelaide's. Excuse me, Queen Adelaide's fringe necklace. Sorry, my eyes are going a little wonky. I don't know if you guys ever, if you've worn contacts, sometimes they just start to get filmy for some reason. And I'm like, oh. So let's go ahead. So yeah, there she is. I think she actually looks pretty good in this tiara. Let's pull that down a bit. Camilla actually has really good tiara hair. I feel like the higher profile tiaras actually look very good on her, to be quite honest. So I think it's great. I don't like how some people get all miffed and fussed of Queen Camilla wearing the jewels from the collection. I'm like, what else is she supposed to wear, guys? Come on. People want to give like everything to Catherine or whatever, or keep saying, oh, Camilla, she's going to take the Queen Mary's lover's knot. It's like, no, guys, she's not. She's really not a stupid person. Like they say things. I'm like, she would only be like crazy stupid to pull stuff like that. So I think Camilla is I think very interested in seeing a future where more of the jewelry is shared between members of the royal family. So I think that is something to look forward to. And let's go ahead and look at the group picture overall. So so the Emir is actually quite tall. But I wanted to show you something because, guys, King Charles, man, he is rocking some hardware here. So hold on, let's go and share this. We got His Majesty King Charles rocking the sword there. Looks pretty amazing. And then we do have confirmation, no tiara for the Sheiksa. It's also sort of interesting as well. Sheikh Samoza still wears a head covering, whereas her daughter-in-law does not. Just an interesting note here. And so you can see as well in the back here, you can see Princess Anne. It looks like she's wearing, I would guess, my guess would be the festoon tiara. I'll have to look up and see if we can get some better pictures. One of my biggest peeves with the British monarchy is that we don't get good pictures of the state visits. I want to change that so bad, guys. I want to change that so bad. So we got that. Got Queen Camilla here. And so we have Sophie. Oh, Sophie is going to be the trick, guys. Sophie is going to be the trick. Let's be honest. I don't know why I said trick. That doesn't really make a bunch of sense, to be quite honest, guys. I don't know what trick is supposed to mean. So, sorry. Anyways, again, goes to the fact of a little jet lagged, brain's a little slow in firing. Not as good as it should be. Ooh, hoo. Oh, guys, we got a big addition here for the state visit as well. Guys, Posh and Bex, guys. They have officially made the state visit. That is a big deal. That is the biggest of the big deals, guys. So Posh and Bex have officially made it. So anyways. All right. And I want to see if we can let me see if we can go to some place like Royal Family Channel here real quick. Because they probably have the procession in, or maybe like a live stream of it. So excuse me for just one second. Okay, so we do have a live stream, but I want to see if we can get, I'm going to real quick. Sorry, you can hear the noise in the background, but I'm trying to move to, okay, no, here we go. We're almost to the procession, guys. Oh, no, this is actually the pre-reception. Huh. So this is a procession of people. Hold on. Just one second. Sorry for the delay. And here we have the procession, and these are some of the lower ranked people because we do have tiaras, but it's obviously not the king and queen. So we have this group as well. See if maybe, just maybe, we can cash a box. Box. Posh and Bex. Okay, let's see. Ooh, she's got a pretty tiara, from what I can tell. I don't know who she is. Oh, lots of tiaras from ladies. Okay, here we go. So this is the official procession, guys. And so we do have a change here that you can notice, probably do, and you can see actually William back there. Just want to stop real quick because we do have a change. No, most of the time, the spouse walks with the monarch while the king or ruler or whatever maybe walks. Sorry, no, that's not right. Because I was thinking for a second there, wait, don't they kind of switch off the sexes? But no, it makes sense that Charles is walking with the Emir. Sorry. I think I'm thinking of different men or something. I was thinking it might be a reflection, obviously, of the Middle Eastern culture here having an impact, but we might see this a bit more later. So, yeah, because the king always walks with the person who's next in line, but we will see William here walking with a woman, but I don't think we'll see any of the women who are with the Qatari party, perhaps maybe walking with the men. I could be wrong about that, but please consider. The Alexandra Kokoshnik looks wonderful. And I don't know quite who that is right there with William, but she has a similar fringe tiara on. Sophie's back to the aquamarine necklace. I'm really hoping she'd get to wear more from the vault. Come on, let's be creative. Well, we did have Sophie actually walking with one of the members of the Qatari party, so my perception there was a bit wrong. That was interesting. So I might have to pause here just for copyright reasons, but you can see the party entering in, and you can hear them sing, playing "God Save the King." And so other members of the party, you'll notice they're not here. They actually went to the other side of the room. So you don't see Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, here, although she would be right over here, is because she's being led to the other side of the room. You do see Princess Anne, though. She looks like she's in the festoon tiara. So I just realized for some reason, hold on. I missed it now. But somebody was saying, "Oh, I can't hear anything over Rachel screaming." I'm like, "Who's Rachel?" And then I realized you were talking about Megan. So, yes, very exciting here that we have the state visit being hosted. And yeah, Alice says, "I love the procession in. So pretty." Yes, very true. Very, very good point, C and K Cribs. World Cup was in Qatar, so it makes sense why Beckhams are there. Yes. Again, brain's a little well, and as well in the United States, we don't follow soccer, to be quite honest. So it makes sense I wouldn't remember that, to be quite honest. All right, we got Maria. Maria says, "Thank you for taking us along with you." Of course. Her Majesty the Queen, the Beckhams deserve this. David has been working with the RF, doing all the good deeds like a stripper on a pole for $1. And I mean that in the most loving way. I love it for them. Yeah, I think that's great. I love that comparison, like a stripper on a pole in the best way. Okay, I love that. I love that. I love that. So NB says, "I don't think Sophie will wear something new from the vault when the focus is on the Emir." Well, I would say not really, because when she did wear the lotus flower tiara, that was obviously a huge, huge deal for her to wear that piece. And so it was, yeah, makes a lot of sense. So, guys, I will go ahead. We'll keep up with stuff, and I will go ahead and try to. If you guys have any questions about this or anything, because we'll try to wrap it up here a little bit, because I want to get to that documentary about Richard III. I know you're all like, well, some people are like, I don't care. I just find that so interesting because it's like, well, his nephews died and he became king, and it's somehow this big mystery about who killed them. And I was like, well, it was his uncle. Like, it was their uncle. Like, who else would have done it? I don't understand. But I am fascinated because apparently there's like a big contingent very focused on trying to exonerate quote unquote Richard III. Not that you can even do that. I don't know. This is like my history thing going like you can't really prove this. I'm sorry. Um and so but apparently there was some evidence found recently that a particular necklace, a piece of jewelry belonging to Edward V, who was the young child who was killed, who was going to be the King of England, that he ended up going to family members. So we do have the state visit, obviously continuing to go on here. I guess we could watch a little bit. Well, it's hard because you can't watch a ton of it, but it's always so good. Okay, oh, Anne's not wearing the festoon. She's wearing her aquamarine, pine cone one, if you remember. So let's go ahead and see a little Queen Camilla's. Oh, look at the diamonds!
If I may, I would particularly like to express the United Kingdom's deepest gratitude for your tireless mediation efforts over the past year in pursuit of peace.
So obviously they're going to discuss a little bit of the whole situation in Israel and sort of the complications that are happening there. Lizzie B says, I was hoping Duchess Sophie would wear the lotus flower or even the tech crescent for this event. Oh, I would love the tech crescent. Oh, somebody needs to wear the tech crescent. Lee Foster is Anne wearing the pine flower tiara. Yes, that is what she is wearing. Yes, that Alice Ranson says, Brittany, I have a question. Other young royals have attended state banquets when they're in 18, 19. Do you think George will attend one around that age, or will William not allow that? So, see, this is kind of interesting to consider here because it's a very fascinating question because William and Catherine, William especially, had a very slow walk into royal duties. Very, very slow, like molasses level slow. And so his first state visit, I don't think was even until after he was married, to be quite honest. Like he was in his late 20s. And it was part of this weird dynamic that existed because Queen Elizabeth had lived so long. There was just this weird dynamic where people were sort of they're not there. And so it's like I can't foresee George and Charlotte having the same sort of low entry to royal duties that Catherine and William had. It might be that William maybe wants that for his kids, but he might not have much choice of getting to get in there. So I just don't know. I just don't know, to be quite honest. And so I can't really tell you either. But I mean, I think they should. I think there's no reason for them not to be engaging in state visits at a younger age. That's my personal thought on the matter. So that's what I hope. But I could see William and Catherine doing things very differently or sticking with what occurred with them. But I just don't know if the times that their kids will grow up will support something like that. I just don't know. I just don't know. Miss Terry says, you're right. Camilla looks good. I don't feel like she is an ambitious person. She's not. I think she was just somebody who kind of fell into a bad situation in a lot of ways. Because Charles was sort of pushed to marry Diana. Diana was in love with him. He wasn't really in love with her. Don't know why his grandmother and Diana's mother insisted on this nonsense, or Diana's grandmother. I think it's absolutely ridiculous because other royals were marrying for love at this point. They basically had a arranged marriage, and it's just like so weird. So, anyways. Sarah says, and you think Harry and Meghan gave all this up for some stupid hippie hair event in La La Land? Yep. So, Very interesting. Good catch. Reese says Anne and Sophie finally also have new royal family orders. Yes, you can see it both here, at least for Anne. We probably won't be able to see Sophie here at the table. One of the things that bugs me about the Brits is that you don't get to see very much of their state visits. I like it for others. Evelyn says, sorry I came in late, babysitting day. I was going to start at the beginning. Thank you, Brittany. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. So let's see if, we got Lola. Greetings from Sweden. Hope Sophie has a tiara. Isabel said, yes, but it is one, sadly, she has worn before. Not that it's bad, but I really was hoping for something new. Becky says, he looks like a little boy seeing what is under the Christmas trees Christmas morning. I mean, like, to be quite frank, going to a state visit would be like the creme de la creme. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Lady Aviator says, it might have been a security issue as to why we don't get a lot of pictures of state visits. Just a thought. I mean, not really. I feel like it's just the Brits have gotten in a rut on some things and just need to get a bit more with the times. When it comes to state visits with other countries, they're dealing also with very, very expensive jewelry, especially if you have Queen Maxima showing up in the Stuart tiara. You have a 40-karat light blue diamond sitting out there and also massive other diamonds. That is a big security risk, and they allow a decent amount of people in there. I just think the Brits are sort of, you just see it in some ways of how they deal with certain things, that they're just a bit behind the times. You compare them to the Danes, the Swedes, the Dutch, like they're just a bit behind the times. Like the Belgians, a lot of them are allowing, I would say, more, you could argue, smaller creators. And I'm not advocating for smaller creators, but because I understand the like that you need to have a small contingent. But I think what ends up happening is there's one photographer taking pictures. There's no pictures, actually decent pictures from this part of the event, which I think is a shame, because you don't get to see the tiaras up close. Because one of my biggest frustrations is that we saw the Strathmore Rose tiara for the first time in 100 years, and you could hardly see it. You couldn't get the details because Chris Jackson was there one year. We got some phenomenal pictures of the Queen Mary's Lover's Knob. Phenomenal, best pictures I've ever seen of it. And that was amazing to see. Just really amazing. You could really get the feel for the details. And that's what's amazing about the new cameras now, is you can get some really detailed pictures. And we see this in other households and stuff, but we just don't see this from the Brits. I think it's part of the, you could argue, legacy of Queen Elizabeth or something to that effect, is that they just have scaled down the state visits in terms of media. I don't think a lot of media was allowed anyways in the beginning, because obviously cameras were much bigger then. But I think they need to adjust a bit, not make it so like one photographer, one videographer and stuff. And so we can get some more variety of like images and everything, because otherwise it just gets a little... So, Her Majesty the Queen says, I want someone to wear Meghan's wedding tiara to show her exactly what she threw away walking away from the RF, and to rub it in, have her lose her mind. Not going to lie. Yeah, I would actually really like it to see on Sophie. Love to see it on Sophie. Again, I'm really hoping for more sharing. I'm a little bit worried now that we don't see Sophie in something new, that sharing is not going to be super big, but I'm really wanting to see sharing. Isabella says, you're so correct, Brittany. I'd like to see the BRF state visits go glamorous and elegant. Yeah. I mean, it's not that they're not, but they could be more. That's the thing. They could be more. And we're seeing, I think, when you compare them to other state visits, love it. The Swedes, they allowed some camera guys to actually get in and like get close-ups of them and everything at the table with the jewelry sparkling and everything. It's amazing. I love that they do that. So I wish, again, I would just like to see more of that from the Brits. That's just my thoughts, but we shall see. Zendane, give me a heads up if you come to Copenhagen. Queen Mary is doing something fun with tiaras. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot that. Oh, I had the pictures and I had a video, but I don't know if I clipped the video correctly. I think I did. Hold on. Okay, yes, I did. Okay, guys, let's end on this because this is amazing. So Queen Mary is basically trying to recreate the Dutch bandeau tiara, which I absolutely love. And she's doing a Danish version of this. I love this video, guys. Let's end on this because this is a happy tiara moment and tiara note. from the Denmark. And Denmark is as well desperately in need of additional tiaras because Denmark has a really small collection. Like it used to have a really big collection, but what like the Queen Ingrid made I think personally a massive mistake by deciding to split her tiaras among her daughters rather than leaving it with the queen, because it leaves them more vulnerable to being sold. So this is a necklace within the Danish collection. Again, thank you so much for, although the chat's probably moved on and I don't see. Thank you. Was it Faith? Whoever reminded me of this, because I really did want to get to this. So we have this video. So I'm just going to turn that down because I don't know what they're saying, and maybe you do, but I don't. So anyway, so what they're doing is they're talking about Queen Mary, and they have this necklace, and she's like, I want to make this into tiara. And she has a great comparison, which is Queen Maxima of the Netherlands has a very similar tiara in the Dutch collection. It's not Queen Maxima's, it's the Dutch collection. I should specify. Anyways, it's just a big bandeau of diamonds. So Mary's like, hey, I see this necklace. Can we make this into a tiara? Oh, brilliant. Dronning Mary. So I love this. Here she is. So they put the necklace on this tiara frame, and she's there casually as they're adjusting this. Awesome. Oh, so hold on. We just got to get a little, man, I wish I had more energy to make tiara videos. I'll probably try to do that a bit tomorrow. Again, because I kind of want to take somewhat of a slow day tiara, but here we go. And I will take, oh yeah. So C&K Crib says, oh, this is exciting. I know the tiara you're talking about. Good. Okay. So I love her examining it. Oh, I just think that's so cool. In her casual gear going, okay, does this work? So there's a sketch, which actually looks a lot like Catherine, you could say, by because they look actually rather similar. And I love this. Chris said, thank you so much. He said it was 140 years old, I think. She requested it would be mounted. That is awesome. Yeah, because and I love Alice saying this too, creating a new tiara is awesome. Yeah, because you have these great pieces, and it's like, how do you make them more versatile for the women who are wearing them? I think this is a great way to do it. Gotta say, this is a great way to do it. Yes, Carol says Queen Mary of Denmark is turning into Queen Mary of Tech, expanding the jewelry collection. And within what they have, because the Danes don't have a ton of money, so she's stuck kind of between a rock and a hard place where some of the most substantial pieces of the collection were given to the daughters of Queen Ingrid. So she doesn't have access to them. And Queen Margrethe is still alive, or Margrethe is still alive, and so it makes it even more complicated. Oh, it says Zendane says it's actually a belt. It's been over 180 years since last judgment. Very interesting. So they're examining piece, and so what they're doing here is really interesting. So they've actually created so that they can take it off and wear it as a necklace as well. Is that they have actually taken it off and put it in little cubbies, you could say, little holders, so it's easily popping in and out. Christina asked, when is the documentary and what channel is on? So it's on right now. I'm not sure which channel. Oh, man, did I save it somewhere? Hold on, guys. I'm still trying to get used to just doing most of my work stuff on my work phone, but I do forget from time to time. So let me see, because I think oh, no, I retweeted it. Hold on just one second. Okay, so it's on Channel 5 at 9 p.m. and it's called The Damning Evidence. Oh, you can't see the video. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm so sorry. So yeah, so I guess we should just start it again. I'll be a little late to watching the show. It's fine. Okay, let's keep going. So there's the necklace. So they posted this on Instagram. So there again, you can see the pictures of the design here, elements for the tiara. So I love her here watching him kind of examine it and figuring out. It has kind of the thing they mounted to actually has a fair amount of movement, which is rather interesting. So you can see it bouncing and moving right there. So again, I love her in her casual wear here, examining the tiara and seeing how they're fitting it. So again, there's a picture. Sorry, I mentioned it, but you can see the picture. Like the drawing looks a lot like Catherine, the Princess of Wales, because they look kind of alike. So I love how they're like putting gently. You can see they're actually putting gently. Oh, guys, that's my favorite part. Okay, so they're putting gently. You can actually see it here. They have like little, I don't want to call them cubbies. It's probably not the right word, but they have little spikes that in between they can gently sort of set the necklace. So it looks like a tiara without having to take away and undo the settings for it. And so it keeps going in. And then there, Queen Mary, she puts her hair in a messy bun, by the way, which I love, and puts it on her head. So let's just watch it one more time because it's just still too cool. So they're trying to get a look. In that position right there, it almost looks more like, I would say, a headband. And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting how they're doing this here. And it looks very much similar to the Dutch, which I'll try to grab a picture of. So there you can see it. Sans the Diamond said they have this little holder so you can put in part of the necklace. I think that's very ingenious, by the way. And then they screw them in as well. For some extra bit of security. So, very cool. Again, so brilliant. I'm so loving this.
Rosenstens diademet snart færdigt, og det vil, ligesom de andre dele af kronjuvelerne, blive båret ved helt særlige lejligheder. Men ellers kan man...
So, I mean, I think this is just so brilliant. It looks like so easy, so that way they can easily convert it between a necklace and a tiara, which is awesome. So I love it there because I think that's her hand right there. I kind of love that. She's got the scrunchie. Like, it's amazing. It's so cool. It's so cool. So guys, if you're curious, this is 100% on Instagram. You are welcome to go find it and watch it as well. So you can see the @ here, Det Dansk Konghus. So King's House is sort of the way you could say it. So anyways. So yes, Chris says, this is amazing. Yes. Carol says, amazing video. Peggy says, just watched the state dinner for the Emir and spotted David and Victoria Beckham among the guest. Oh, yeah. Brittany, I have to say it. Mary has had plastic surgery and it's making her face and facial expressions unnatural. Either way, it's her. If she wants to do it, I don't have any issue with that. The only issue I have is people who say, oh, I'm naturally doing all this skin stuff when they're really getting plastic surgery. I have an issue with that. Other than that, like, do what you want. Sheridan said, what country are you in right now? I am in the UK. So, in London. Metmo says, Mary and Frederick have 2 daughters and Queen Marguerite only had boys, so they are going to need more tiaras. Yep. Do you think the hair would be pulled through the lower band? Could be. I don't think so, though. I think they may stabilize this in some way so it moves less, but the felt would actually stick here. The way they've done it gives it a higher profile as well. So let me so this was what was done with the Dutch tiara at some point. So this is a good angle of it, I think. So let me show you this real quick, and then we will go ahead and I think wrap this edition of Tiara Tuesday. Oh, goodness gracious is me. The Crown Report up. So this is the diamond bandeau. It was created into that by Queen Wilhelmina. It was consisted of 27, the 34 diamonds from the Riviere necklace given to Queen Emma from the people of the Netherlands as a wedding present in 1879. So this is the tiara. It's very simple, has a pretty low profile. I kind of like how Princess Marguerite used it that way. So we have Queen Juliana, Queen Beatrix, and we have a bunch of different versions of Queen Maxima. And as you can see, very similar design in a lot of ways, although I think the difference with the Dutch is that extra bit of profile. So even though it is technically, you could call it a low profile tiara, because it doesn't have, let's say, the grandness of what we've seen recently with the Queen Alexandra's Kokoshnik. That instead we get something that's a bit lower profile, a bit really interesting. And so it's really, really awesome to see that. Her Majesty the Queen says, feel even more regal knowing an actual queen wears a scrunchie on her wrist too. I know, right? So Her Majesty the Queen says, I love the simplicity. The diamonds are huge. Looks so easy how it slips into those posts, secured, and it's ready to go. Yeah. Shaz says, are there going to be adding any other jewels at the bottom? That's a possibility. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's definitely possible. For 100%. Chris says, Brittany, sweet dreams, and thanks for the best live ever. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Me too. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, our channel 5. So our channel 5. I live in cold London. LOL. Yes, your channel 5. Your channel 5. Cuggy says, super cute photo of you and Taz in the UK on X. Thank you. Carol says, I love those simple tiaras that kind of look like a headband. Me too. Her Majesty the Queen says, I think a layer of hair would go over the bottom metal piece and unseen when worn. Yeah, I think what you would do sort of, you can see a little bit in Maxima's hair right here, is you kind of give a little bit of volume in front and the tiara sits there, and then you can still see a good chunk of the tiara behind it. Because the challenge of the Dutch is that it is very low profile, so you can't do much with your hair. So anyways, Millie says, thank you so much thanks for all the hard work. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. All right, guys. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this live. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be working on a tiara video. Any other things I get, you guys will see. Hopefully I'll get to do some editing in the meantime and get some content out to you guys, because I'm so excited. Because we have Kayak asks, why is Qatari queen isn't with a tiara? She's not a queen. She's a shiksa. I'm not sure why, but she's not really someplace where they wear tiaras all that much. So guys, anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for tuning in. And anytime I kind of lost my train of thought or anything, I do apologize. Hopefully I get a lot more sleep tonight. I'll take it sort of easy tomorrow, and then we'll get more content out to you guys so soon. So have a wonderful night, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.